Today we are taking a look at Oozora Subaru from hololive. This is the hololive If Relax Time Oozora Subaru figure by Banpresto. Hololive is a virtual talent project built around streamers and performers, each with a distinct on-screen identity and visual style. Within that lineup, Oozora Subaru stands out for her energetic presence and bright, approachable character. Today's highlights for this figure are the duck-themed outfit, the bright expression and posing, and the different hairstyle. The first highlight is the outfit. Rather than using a more standard costume presentation, this figure builds the design around a playful duck motif. The headband places a duck face directly across the forehead, the lower outfit adds a small rounded tail at the back, and the yellow foot coverings extend that theme all the way down into the lower half. The second highlight is the expression and posing. The face uses a wide open smile and large colorful eyes, so the figure immediately feels cheerful instead of calm or neutral. That mood is reinforced by the seated pose, the slight turn through the upper body, and the raised open hand, which makes the whole figure feel as if it is actively greeting or talking to someone. The third highlight is the hairstyle. Instead of relying on a single simple shortcut, the hair adds small tied sections at the sides while keeping the rest of the head compact. Because the front bangs, the short back layers, and those tied side sections all read separately, the hairstyle gives the figure a lighter and more playful silhouette. This channel brings you figure reviews and anime merchandise updates straight from Japan. If you enjoyed this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. The head is built around a very bright and friendly expression. The mouth is opened into a broad smile, and because the opening is placed clearly at the center of the face, it becomes one of the first things that draws attention. That cheerful feeling is supported by the eyes. They are large and cleanly outlined, with blue as the main color and yellow-green accents gathered toward the lower area, so the face keeps a vivid and lively look rather than reading as flat. Above the face, the duck headband becomes the key visual accent. It stretches straight across the forehead as a separate white band, and the duck face is simplified into two small dark eyes and a centered yellow beak. Because that band sits over the hair instead of blending into it, the duck motif reads immediately as an added costume element rather than just a color detail. After that, the hair gives the head more shape from every angle. The front is arranged with several bangs that drop over the forehead in separate pointed sections, while the outer face framing strands hang longer than the center. Behind that, the haircut stays short and layered around the neck, so the back of the head does not become too heavy. Small tied sections extend outward at the sides with yellow bands at their base, and those parts stand apart from the shorter main body of the hair. That combination of short layered hair and small tied sections makes the head feel more animated and gives the overall silhouette more variety. The upper body stands out because it stays very simple in costume design while still giving the pose a lot of movement. The top is a sleeveless white cropped piece with a rounded neckline, so the chest area reads as one broad surface before it breaks into the exposed midriff below. Because the cut stops high above the waist, the figure leaves a large section of the stomach visible, which makes the transition from the upper outfit into the lower half very clear. The neckline and arm openings are also kept clean and open, so the shoulders and upper arms stay easy to read without extra accessories interrupting the lines. The pose is what gives this section most of its energy. The torso does not face straight forward in a stiff way. Instead, it turns slightly, which helps the shoulders, chest, and waist create a softer twist through the middle of the figure. One arm drops down with the hand resting against the leg, and because the fingers are lightly closed instead of tightly clenched, that side of the pose feels relaxed. The other arm lifts outward with the palm open and the fingers spread, so the figure creates a much more welcoming and expressive gesture on that side. There are also several smaller choices that keep the upper half from feeling plain. From the back, the top ends in a straight horizontal cut, leaving most of the lower back exposed, which gives the rear view a much lighter look. The shoulders stay rounded, the arms keep smooth, uninterrupted lines, and the open hand creates a clear outward extension away from the body. Together, the cropped top, exposed midriff, turned torso, and raised hand make the upper body feel casual, open, and full of personality. The lower half is where the outfit theme becomes much more obvious. The figure uses a white bottom that wraps around the hips in a rounded puffy shape, and the upper edge is formed with a thick gathered border rather than a flat, simple line. Because that border rises and falls in soft lumps around the waist, it separates the lower outfit clearly from the exposed stomach above. At the back, a small rounded tail projects outward from the center, and that single added part immediately strengthens the duck-themed design without needing a more complicated build. The seated pose gives the lower body a very wide and readable silhouette. Both legs are folded under the figure, but they do not tuck straight beneath the hips in a narrow shape. Instead, they spread outward enough to create a broad base, which gives the figure a more relaxed and playful feeling. The thighs are presented with long, smooth curves, and the knees bend naturally into the lower legs, so the transition stays soft instead of sharp. Because the body is seated low while the legs extend outward around it, the lower half helps the figure take up more horizontal space than its size alone would suggest. The yellow foot coverings complete the costume idea. They begin clearly above the ankle and continue over the feet in one uninterrupted shape, so the lower edge of the figure shifts cleanly from skin tone to bright yellow. Their rounded shape keeps them from reading like ordinary socks, and the color makes them stand out strongly against both the white lower outfit and the neutral skin tones. That means the lower half is not just supporting the figure, it is carrying a large part of the costume identity through the gathered white bottom, the tail at the back, and the bright yellow finish at the feet. This figure is approximately 12 centimeters tall. That's about 4.7 inches. For size comparison, here's a 350 milliliter can. That's about 12 ounces in the US. Overall, Oozora Subaru by Banpresto stands out for the way this figure combines a playful duck-themed costume, a very cheerful expression, and a seated pose that feels light and inviting. The head makes an immediate impression. The open smile gives the face a lot of energy, and the large eyes add bright color that keeps the expression feeling lively from the start. That effect becomes even stronger with the duck headband, which places a simple beak and eyes design directly across the forehead and makes the theme readable at a glance. The hair also contributes a lot more than it first seems to. The short layered base keeps the head compact, while the small tied side sections give the silhouette extra movement and make the hairstyle feel more playful. The upper body carries that same casual energy. The sleeveless white crop top is very simple, but that simplicity works well because it keeps the focus on the pose and the exposed midriff. The slight turn through the torso prevents the figure from looking flat, while the contrast between the lowered resting hand and the raised open hand makes the character feel much more animated. Because the upper half avoids heavy layering or extra parts, the expression and gesture stay at the center of the presentation. The lower half is where the outfit theme fully comes together. The rounded white bottom with its gathered edge gives the lower costume a softer and more costume-like shape, and the small tail at the back is a very effective detail because it is placed exactly where the eye expects a finishing accent. The folded seated legs spread the figure outward in a relaxed way, which helps the display feel approachable instead of rigid. Then the yellow foot coverings finish the design with the strongest color accent in the lower half, tying the duck idea back into the full silhouette. What makes the full figure work especially well is the way these elements support one another. The head establishes the cheerful personality, the upper body turns that into an active greeting-like pose, and the lower half locks the whole duck-themed design into place. Because of that, fans of hololive or Oozora Subaru will definitely enjoy this piece. With that focus on costume motif, bright expression, playful hairstyle, and an easy-to-display seated pose, collectors who enjoy charming character figures with a light-hearted presentation should find it a very satisfying addition. That's it for this video. If there's any part of the figure you liked, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.